Imagine this. You are a freelance writer and you know you are good. You have your way with words and you have a fantastic client base. But one day, you receive an email from a mysterious client offering you a lucrative project, but with a catch. The client wants to see your portfolio before proceeding. You are taken aback, realizing you have never bothered to create one. You've relied on your referrals and word of mouth reputations instead. But the client is adamant. Without a portfolio, you risk losing the project and by extension, a significant payday. What are you going to do? So you scramble to assemble one, but it's too little, too late. The client has moved on to another writer. Then you realize that a portfolio is not just a nice to have, but a must have for a freelancer. Hi, my name is Sunday Yabi, and I'm making this video so that you don't ever find yourself in that situation ever. In today's video, I will show you 4 steps to creating a magnetic freelance writer proposal, even if you have zero experience. If you are ready, let's get straight into the heart of the matter. You see, it took me quite a while to realize that as a freelancer, you are equally in the business of selling your skills. And one of the best ways to do that as a freelancer is to have what is known as a portfolio. A portfolio is great for giving your client a one-stop, one-glance look at who you are and helping them decide on the spot if you are somebody they would like to work with or they would like to try out another client. So if a portfolio is that important, one of the best things you can do for yourself as a freelancer is to make sure your portfolio is spot on. Make sure you put in all your selling skills and your selling strategies into crafting a killer portfolio so that when your client comes in contact with your portfolio, they will have no choice but to contact you. So what are the 4 things that make up an irresistible freelance writing portfolio? Let me share them with you. Number 1 is choosing a niche. As simple as that sounds, it's one of the most important things you can do for yourself as a freelance writer. You've got to have a niche and you have to understand that niche. And after that, it's your responsibility to sell your expertise in that niche to your client. I know sometimes they tell you that it's good to be jack of all trade, and sometimes some people tell you can be jack of all trade and master of some, but that's not necessarily true. The more you streamline, the better your chances of finding a client who needs your exact services. Now, you may ask yourself, what is a niche? So a niche is a specialized segment of the market intended for a specific product or service. So the idea is the general market for freelancers is huge. The market for freelance writers is also huge. But you know what is not oversaturated is the market for freelance writers who specialize in writing YouTube scripts. And if you even want to drive it further down, you can say you specialize in writing YouTube video scripts for police body cam videos. That is super specific. So in other words, when a client who is looking for a writer who has experience, who has the expertise, who has the skill, and who has the knowledge about writing YouTube scripts that are specifically tailored for police dash cam content, is looking for a writer, your portfolio immediately jumps out to them. And the possibility of landing that job immediately becomes very, 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 very high. So how do you determine your niche? These questions will help you determine what your ideal niche is. Number 1, what is the major theme of your existing work? So if you have been writing before now, you must have written a couple of articles, content, you must have written a couple of things. Look at the major theme in your existing work. What is predominant? Are you always writing about fashion content? Are you always writing about make money at home content? Are you always writing about educational content or tech content? So if you identify what is your predominant category, it's easier for you to narrow it down into a specific niche. Next, what form of writing are you most comfortable with? What are you most comfortable to write? For some writers, if you are asked to write, comedy materials, it seems to flow naturally with you. But when you are asked to write academic papers or academic materials, you kind of struggle, and that's when you know that writer's block is real, right? So that's already a pointer to the niche you will do well in. It's already a pointer to somewhere you should invest your focus into. For example, are you better at writing email copies, advertising materials, or you thrive better when it comes to writing articles, blog posts, YouTube scripts, social media posts, landing pages, non-fictional materials, academic writing? So figure out what kind of writing excites you the most. And that's the number 2 pointer. Number 3, ask yourself, what category are you most knowledgeable about? Okay, so ask yourself all these questions and put down the answer in a piece of paper. What category are you most knowledgeable about? It could be fashion, it could be sports, it could be history, it could be travel category. Whatever the category that most excites you, that you are better at writing, I will encourage you to note that down. That's also a good pointer to what your niche, your ideal niche should be. And then finally, number 4, you now have to take everything you have written down, juxtapose it into one, and then find out if there are enough clients in those areas that you have identified. If the answer is yes, then you have yourself a good niche you can focus on. But that's not all it takes to have a magical portfolio. The second step to crafting a magical portfolio is to figure out what your ideal client wants. And this is very, very important. Remember that you are not writing for yourself, you are writing for your client, and by extension, you are writing for your client's audience. So the question is, what exactly is my client looking for? And you want to ask yourself this question so that you can package yourself into what your ideal client is looking for. So find out what this client wants so that you can craft your portfolio to meet exactly what he or she is looking out for in a writer. And by so doing, you get to position yourself as the ideal freelance writer for the project. For example, my ideal client will be a YouTube content creator, specifically a faceless YouTube content creator, somebody who needs constant script to produce video content for their YouTube channel. And if I want to drive it down further, I'm looking at somebody who's looking for police case, crime case, is looking for history, documentary style writing. These are the areas that I thrive the most. Think about this. What exactly are my clients looking for? And how can I package myself to become the ideal freelancer for my ideal client? If you've gotten that right, then it's time to move on to the next step. Step 3 is to write or select pieces that showcase your skill. Now that you have identified your niche, you have identified what your ideal client is looking for, what you now want to do is to demonstrate that you have the skill to meet what that ideal client is looking for. So if you are new to this, then what you need to do is to write articles, generate articles from the start. You can go and research, go on Fiverr, go on Upwork and look at some of the content that some client wants done in your niche, right? And then deliver on that project on your own. Or you can go to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube and find similar titles to projects you think you can do and write your own version of the same thing. However, if you're already into writing and you already have some sample work, what you need to do is to now pick out your best pieces, your best piece of work, and compile them in such a way that you can host them on a platform and send the link directly to somebody who is interested in seeing your portfolio. So if you have done step 1, step 2, and step 3, you are now finally ready to go to the last phase, which is step 4. And that is the stage where you then get to create the actual portfolio. This is just a simple way of displaying what you have already created. Okay, so what we are doing in this stage is to look for a platform where we can host all this content that we have already put together, so that we can send it as a single link to our ideal client. Now, the first way you can do this is by creating a new page on your website that carries your domain, or that carries your name as the domain. So if you have a website, you can create a single page and host this on that page, something that looks like a landing page. Okay, so if you're trying to get a website with your own domain name, I'm going to help you provide the links to some wonderful domain name and hosting platforms you can use in Nigeria and in Africa, and they are very, very affordable. I have used Q servers for a long time, and they are very, very reliable. You can use Q servers, you can use Namecheap, you can use GoDaddy, and the list goes on. But in case you are saying, look, Sunday, I can't afford to have a domain and a website right now. I don't even know if I get a domain, I don't even know how to build a website. That's fine. I got you covered. Another thing you can do is to simply get Google Drive. Create a folder on Google Drive, import your write-ups in a Google Docs format into one single folder, and the next time you get to submit a proposal, you can send the Google Drive link as your portfolio to your ideal client. But just in case you are thinking that that is not professional enough and you would like to do something a little bit more professional but it's still free of charge, I got you covered. You can use a website called behance.net. Okay, however, this website is mainly for graphic designers. I'm going to drop the link to that website down in the description below. Make sure you check it out and see if it's a good fit for you. Another thing you can do is to publish some of your samples on platforms like LinkedIn, like Medium, and x.com. Okay, so that when your ideal client needs a quick portfolio or a quick sample, you can just send the link straight ahead to them. Last but not the least, and in my opinion, this is like a hybrid of everything I've told you. So it will give you something that looks like a professional website. You can get this the closest to a professional website you can get with a domain without having to purchase one. Okay, and that is to use Canva. I'm also going to drop the link to that below, and I'm going to be dropping the link to a video tutorial I will be doing, showing you exactly how to create your freelance writer portfolio using Canva. I hope you learned quite a lot from this video, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making this video for you. Now, if you did, kindly give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I really need your support. And do me one more favor, share this video on all your social media platforms so that it can help more people just like you. Finally, if there's a video you'd like me to make about freelance writing, freelancing in general, and how to make money online through freelancing, go ahead and comment that in the comment section. I'm going to check it out, and I promise you I'll make a video that answers your questions to the best of my ability. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I'll see you next time.